Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Pigskin Addicts here, back again with another video. So we know what this is, guys. Kansas City, LA, this Sunday Night Football, the second of a consecutive Sunday Night Football appearance for the Chargers. So we know what this is. Now, normally I would go through a lot of stuff, maybe get some game film and things like that, but we know who the Chiefs are. We know who this team is, and at this point right now, they're the best team in the NFL, right? To nobody's surprise, really. This is the best team in the NFL. So the Chargers, they really have to be on point to even have a shot to win this game. Now, there are some things that I wanted to go over, so let's get into it here. So first and foremost, this is a must-win game. This is a must-win game for many reasons for the Chargers. You want to keep pace in the division. Obviously, Kansas City leads this division. If you lose again to them head-to-head, then you go down by another game to the Chiefs. They already beat us earlier in the season in week 2. You kind of want to split this right now. You want to split this because if lightning strikes and the Chargers get hot and the division is up for grabs, this win would help. If the Chargers do lose, though, this lose obviously would, if things came down to a tie, then it would go to Kansas City. But in the unlikely event that happens, you want to have this win on your resume. So this is a must win for that. This is also a must win because the Chargers do not want to fall too far out of playoff contention. The playoff seeds are as of week 10, they are set now, and the Chargers are not in them, right? So obviously there's still a lot of the season left to play, but the margin of error continues to get thinner and thinner as the weeks go on. So you need to lodge wins, right? Narratives, all of that type of stuff don't matter now. You need to lodge wins. If you don't lodge wins, you will not be in the playoffs, and it's that simple. So they need to start this out, and they need to get a big win here, a big division win. I also think that this win could parlay a lot of good momentum for the Chargers, right? Momentum plus, getting some injured guys back, that could really set up for a pretty strong, stretch run towards the end of the season. I think this win right here could really spark that. If that were to happen, beat this team, who, again, I said is the best team in the NFL right now at this point, to beat this team and to get, injured guys back, maybe week by week, kind of slowly, bring guys back. And, hopefully towards the end of the season, week 16, week 17, this team is as healthy as it's going to be, right? Going into, a potential stretch playoff run, getting hot at the right time, potentially. So this could really spark it. So this is a very big game for the Chargers and a must win. Now, the Chargers' offensive game plan, it has to be better, right? And again, we've beat this dead horse again. We're going to beat it again here. But the game plan has to be better. Now, watching the tape from the Niner game, the offensive game plan was elementary. Now, we can get on Joe Lombardi if we want to, but the offensive weapons out there that Justin Herbert was working with, it's not good enough, right? It's not good enough to win a game against a good team like that. And, hopefully Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, hopefully at least one of them comes back. A best case scenario would be both of them are on the field on Sunday, but hopefully at least one of them is able to play, because you cannot come out with that same game plan. What the Chargers pretty much did against the Niners, they shrunk the field. There was a lot of max protect stuff. They shrunk the field. There's a lot of two-man routes. There's not a lot to cover there. And if Michael Bandy and DeAndre Carter are the ones running the routes, you don't have to do a whole lot, right? Those guys can be covered one-on-one. They don't need any help. So the Niners can be really aggressive towards the line of scrimmage. And they were, they're really aggressive in their blitz packages as well. So it just wasn't anything that was challenging the Niners. The Niners were not worried about anything that the Chargers presented offensively. So this offensive game plan against the Chiefs has to be better. The Chiefs defense has to at least think about, some threat happening, right? Maybe, they can, let a touchdown go, right, if they're not playing the right coverage. Maybe they give up a big gain on the ground or whatever if they're not in the right, defensive alignment. There has to be something that threatens the defense. If there's nothing that threatens the defense, teams are going to be aggressive, extremely aggressive against the Chargers, and that's what they have been all season long. The play calling, the injuries, all of that stuff plays into it, but the Chargers have to come out with something that is going to threaten the defense. It is not just necessarily going downfield, but there has to be something that the defense worries about. And it has to be something that the defense worries about to the point to where they make an adjustment, right? To where they make an adjustment, and now, you're able to attack another level of the defense, right? You want to make defenses make adjustments. That's what the Chargers didn't do last week. The Niners made no adjustments. They pretty much came out and played the same thing the entire game, right? They had the same formula, base defense first and second down, blitzing on third down, right? And pretty much getting off the field. The Chargers have to switch it up. They have to switch it up. I don't know what they have to do. I would, if I'm Lombardi, I am, scheming some stuff in for the run game. I'm putting Austin Eckler back there to take direct snaps. Isaiah Spiller back there to take direct snaps. I'm switching some things up. I'm doing some end arounds, maybe a couple of trick plays, maybe, a Philly special, whatever. You have to do things that are going to make the defense think. And if you're not making them think, if they know what you're doing, they can put their foot in the ground and they can come at you. And they can play as aggressive as they want to without worried about being beat. So offensively, the game plan must be better. Now, defensively, I think the Chargers are going to be fine. They are the team, pretty much just the last 3 years have matched up pretty well with the Chiefs. And that is, under two different, defensive schemes, right? The 4-3 scheme with Gus Bradley a couple of years ago. They matched up pretty well with Kansas City and obviously under Brandon Staley. So this team has matched up well against Kansas City, against their offense. What the Chiefs do now, though, what they are capable of now, they are capable of running the ball. And I think that is something that worries me because obviously the Chargers do not stop the run well. They are ranked 30th. The Chargers are ranked 30th in rushing this year, rushing defense. They ranked 30th last year in rushing defense. So this is still the same bad defense against the run. Now, Staley has made some adjustments going to the 6-1 that has worked. It really worked against the Niners. I expect to see that against the Chiefs if they want to run, if they want to get their running game going. But this worries me defensively because the Chiefs are able to run the ball when they want to. Now, they're only ranked 21st in the league in rush. So they don't pull it out all the time, but most of the time they're playing with the lead, right? They're playing with the lead so they can really go to whatever they want to go to. Andy Reid can get as creative as he wants to, and they're not running the ball to shorten the game. They're passing the ball because they want to put up as many points as they can. This is a very good offense. This is the number one offense in the league. And this is just for me. Buffalo is ranked number one. Kansas City is number two. But Buffalo has a quarterback that turns the ball over at a alarming rate. So if you have, I don't care how many points, how many yards you put up, if you have a quarterback that turns the ball over, that is not the best offense. This is the best offense in the league because Patrick Mahomes does not turn the ball over like Josh Allen does. So this is the best offense in the league. So the Chargers, they're obviously going to have the work cut out for them. I think they're going to be fine defensively just as far as matchups go. They have to be disciplined, and they cannot take chances. Can't take chances. You have to keep everything in front of you and make Kansas City work. They can work. They can get 12 and 13 play drives, but you want to make them work, and you want to make them work as hard as they can for all of their points. So defensively, I think they will be fine, but the run game is something that I kind of do worry about with Kansas City. Now, obviously, with the run game, comes the play action game. I think the Chargers, they have to double Travis Kelce all game long. You got to take your ego out of it if you're Brandon Staley. Double Travis Kelce. He is the guy that kills all the teams every single week. He is their most consistent weapon. He's the guy that gets open all the time. Double him. You have to double him. You have to bracket him. Take your ego out of it, right? Make somebody else beat you. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I think he did not practice yesterday. I think he has some type of injury. Obviously, Juju Smith-Schuster, he has a concussion. I don't expect him to play. I think MVS, I don't know if he's going to play. If he does play, he won't be 100%. So at the wide receiver position, they're facing some injuries, right? I don't think they trust Sky Moore, the rookie. He hasn't really shown anything as far as receiver goes. They have some stuff to worry about, as far as their health goes. So you have to double Travis Kelce. He is really pretty much the only guy who can kill the Chargers. He killed us last year in this same game. It was on Thursday night, the game at home. He killed us last year with the game-winning touchdown in overtime. You must double him. It's not good enough to just have a cornerback on him because he can body a cornerback. He can run routes. He's very, very shifty. He's not the fastest guy, but he is shifty. His hips are very loose. He can get in and out of breaks, and he is a guy that can break the game open for the Chiefs. So you got to double him. You have to take him out of the game. He is what they do best, right? When their passing game is going and is going at a very high level, is Travis Kelce. He is the one putting up the numbers, the touchdowns. That is what they do best. So you must take him away. If they take away Travis Kelce, then Mahomes has to go to other guys that he may not fully 100% trust yet, and guys who haven't, really made a name for themselves, like a Travis Kelce has. So you really have to take this guy out of the game. Double team him. Don't take any chances because you need to win. Right? It doesn't need to look pretty. You don't need to have style points, but you need to win. You need to shut this guy down. And if the Chargers are able to do that successfully, then, the chances of winning goes up. So take Travis Kelce out of the game, from the start, from the first quarter on, take him out of the game. Now, Kadarius Toney is their new toy. It's the Chiefs' new toy. They got him in a trade with the Giants. He was a guy that has been available for pretty much the beginning of the season. The Giants did not like him. They thought he was a little crazy, pretty much. So he was available, right? I thought the Chargers should have went out to get him. Obviously, they sat on their hands. They didn't do that. But he's a guy. He's a speed guy. He can break the game open. He is a guy that they can go to in some trick play packages. He's a guy that can take some jet sweep handoffs. He's a guy that can do a lot. He can do a lot for them. They kind of got him going a little bit last week against Jacksonville. He had his own package of plays. He came out and he balled. And he is a very good player. He was good in college at Florida. And, he is tailor-made for this Andy Reid offense. So he is another new toy that Patrick Mahomes has. I think the Chargers have to pay attention to that. He hasn't had a lot of time there. He just got there 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. But he's somebody they're going to have to pay attention to. When he is in the game, you can probably expect the ball to go to him. You got to pay attention to him. And you got to limit the big plays with Kadarius Toney. I think, last but not least, and I say this every week, the Chargers have to run the ball. That's really the only way that this is going to make it easier for the offense without their weapons. That's the only way. You're going to have to run the ball. You're going to have to commit to running the ball. You're going to have to try some different things running the ball. Again, I suggested the handoffs, the wildcat formation. Do some of that stuff and make it easier. You're going to have to be able to get some yards in the running game. You're going to have to be able to make third and short. You're going to have to be able to make it third and manageable, right? 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. Those are, third down situations that the Chargers couldn't pick up. Even with this, group of ragtag receivers that they have, they can still pick up those 3rd and 5. So get it as close to, a third and manageable as you possibly can. The only way you're going to do that is with the run game. The short passing game is not going to scare anybody. The Chiefs are going to be aggressive. They're going to be ready for it. They're going to be waiting for it. And they are not going to adjust unless you give them something to adjust to. So again, this game plan, offensive game plan, has to be on point. But the run game has to play a factor. You have to play. It has to play a factor. I know they weren't good running the ball on first down. I think second down is the perfect time for the Chargers to run the ball. They can run the ball out of, a lot of the spread packages. The Chiefs, they do run a lot of nickel. They run a lot of nickel defenses. So big guys go to the sidelines. You get the DBs in there. You can run the ball for 5 or 6 yards on second down easily. That's something that I would try to establish in this game if I was the offensive coordinator. Running the ball, Isaiah Spiller, obviously Austin Eckler. I'm not sure if Josh Kelly's going to be. I don't think he's going to be back this week. I think he'll be back next week. But you got running backs. You have to feed them. You got to give them the ball. Off of that, if you have success in the running game, then you can go to the screen game. Then the screen game will start to work a little better. Obviously, play action will work a little better. You got to try something with the running game. You cannot just be resigned to the fact that you can't run the ball week in and week out. It's embarrassing, and that's unbecoming of an NFL team. It doesn't matter if you get stopped. You have to try to at least establish it. You don't need to run for 200 yards, but you have to make the defense respect your run game. If they don't respect your run game, again, they can play as aggressive as they want to, and they can sit on all of the short routes and get you off the field on third down. That's exactly what the Niners did. This defense is not the Niners defense, but they do have some guys, and they are familiar with the Chargers just like we're familiar with them. So they're going to have to. The Chargers are going to have to at least try to establish the run game. And if they do establish it, even just a little bit, don't deviate from it. Don't go away from it. Justin Herbert should not be dropping back 40 to 50 times with this ragtag group of receivers. It doesn't make sense. Adjust the philosophy. Get a little more physical. Get a little more physical at the line of scrimmage. Run. Get Xander Horvath in there. Get him the ball. Let him run the ball a few times. Right? Get some momentum going in the running game. Get that established. If you get that established, you're going to be able to hit the Chiefs on the back end, right? In the play action. You're going to be able to do that. Herbert can make all those throws. So they're going to have to at least try to get the run game going. Again, you have to win this game. So dropping Justin Herbert back 50 times, that's not a recipe for winning. It hasn't been for the past 2 years. And if they do it again, the definition of insanity. doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's not going to work out. They're going to need to get some help from somewhere else. And the run game is just sitting there, and, they're not even trying to establish it at all. Week in and week out, it's all on Herbert to make tight window throws. And if he doesn't make those, then the Chargers lose. So they have to at least establish the run game. At least try to establish the run game. Try your best to do it. Now, where Kansas City, I think where they struggle and where the Chargers can capitalize on them is that they have a -4 turnover differential. So that means they don't turn you over and they give the ball up. Now, last season they kind of had a fumbling issue, and that was pretty much offense wide. I think Travis Kelce put the ball on the ground a couple of times last season. Obviously, Clyde Edwards-Helaire put the ball on the ground. Now, they don't really have as much of a fumbling issue. It is a Patrick Mahomes getting too cute sometime issue. He will take chances. He did throw a late pick in against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. Obviously, the Jaguars are not a good team. They were not able to take advantage of that. But if you are able to get a pick or two off of Patrick Mahomes, number one, you got to catch it. We seen what happened in week 2. Chargers had 3 picks, dropped them all. Right, you got to catch it. You got to catch the interceptions because he can throw you the ball. Sometimes he does get wild, especially when their offense is rolling. He can take some chances, and they live with that, right? That's just what he does. He doesn't do it too often. It's not an issue. He's not Josh Allen with it, but he will throw you one every now and then. The Chargers just have to catch it. So turnover differential is big here. The Chargers play a clean game. Don't turn the ball over. No interceptions. Don't put the ball on the ground. The Chiefs might give you a couple of turnovers. So that's something the Chargers can parlay into success, right? And maybe a win. So that's something that you should look out for on Sunday. Last but not least, situational football. I talked about this on the live stream after the game. Situational football is huge. It is the most important thing when it comes to winning in the NFL. Situationally, the Chargers must be good, right? 3rd down on defense. Get off the field. Get the Chiefs off the field, right? Rush the passer. Stop the run, right? Be abreast of all of the screens, all of the different type of misdirections, movements that's good, going to go on with the Kansas City offense. Don't be tricked by all of that stuff, right? Read your keys, make tackles, and get off the field, right? Conversely, on offense, on 3rd down, again, get to 3rd and short, get to 3rd and manageable. Be able to get in those positions so you're able to, pick up at least 5 yards, right? If it's 3rd and 5, you pick up 5 yards, or, maybe you pick up 3 or 4 yards. Now it's a decision for Brandon Staley. Are you going to go for it on 4th down? I expect him to be a lot more aggressive because, again, I think this is a must-win. I think the players know this. All the fans, we all know this. This is a must-win going forward. So I expect Staley to be a little more aggressive as far as, the 4th down calls now. But that all starts with getting into 3rd and manageable. If you're able to do that, then you have 2 plays to pick up, 5 yards, right? Just depending on wherever you're at on the field. But if you are in plus territory, you're going to have 2 plays to pick up a 3rd and 5, a 3rd and 4. You're going to have 2 plays. So the Chargers are going to have to be good situationally. And again, a lot of that starts with running the ball. If they're able to run the ball and establish it, they will be able to go play action. They'll be able to go, do a lot of different other things, man beaters, zone beaters. Herbert can use his legs. There's a lot that can happen, right? So the Chargers must be good situationally, and I think that is going to be the key to winning this ball game. If they're not good situationally, they will lose. If they are good situationally, it will put them in a position to win this game. Now, that went over everything here. That's pretty much all I had, just from the notes that I had. This is a must-win game. I'm expecting the Chargers to come out and play well, regardless of who's out on the field. Hopefully, the roster and all of that stuff, hopefully it doesn't come into play too much. It could, and, it probably will, but hopefully it's not the reason why the Chargers lose. I'm hoping that it's not the reason why they lose. Hopefully we can get Mike and Keenan back, or at least one of them. We need all the help we can get, but that's all I got for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Really, really appreciate it. Shout out to all my new subscribers as well, too. I'll be back again tomorrow with more content. Probably might go live and do a little bit of film breakdown because I think this offensive philosophy is just terrible, to be honest with you. So kind of made me wanted to touch on that a little bit more. And, I'll be dropping another video as well, too, tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for all the support. And until next time.